Red button means live. Mike's unmuted. What up, everybody? Welcome to the 49th. We're approaching 50. Approaching 50 episodes here. Welcome, everyone, to the 49th episode of the Some Casual Takes podcast, hosted by me, Stephen Pepper, featuring other sports fans. Featuring other sports fans casually debating the hottest takes. This episode is brought to you by no one, and I'm here with Matt, NFL and NBA post, ready to talk. You've been on my stream quite a lot, bro. I bet I've been annoying you to come on my show.
It's all good, man. It's all good. I'm not that busy, so I got time.
There we go. Well, he's a ball knower, and you're NFL and NBA. You know multiple sports and can talk to him deeply. That's why I like having you on, because we're talking football today, as by the title. And I told you before stream, like, I want to start talking football more. Football is a month away, preseason, the end of training camps, and all this drama is going to start. Quarterback, QB battles are going to start heating up, controversy. And I want to talk with some people about it, but I don't know that many people in my TikTok space who know football. They know basketball. They want to talk about Shaq and Kobe, LeBron, MJ every day, but they don't know the difference between Dak Prescott and Trevor Lawrence really well. And I want to talk to people about that. But you know football. A couple people said they couldn't join. Hopefully, Kieran can join because I want to get Kieran's opinions on these two. Because the title of the show is ranking every starting NFL quarterback. We're going to do that to get football season kicked off. Because I said last show we ranked the top 25 players in basketball. That did pretty well. That was a good stream. Now we're just going to do it with football. Now we do quarterbacks because quarterbacks is the most popular position, the most important position. And it's kind of hard to rank players. Like, we could have done the top 20 players in football, but
that would be way too difficult.
I'm not really good at rating players based on position, like out of position, like comparing.
I could try, but yeah,
I could try. Burrow better be number 2 or else unfollow incoming. We're gonna see where Matt puts Joe Burrow. But
I'm an LSU
fan
today,
so Matt.
Yeah,
12:40 for me. Day probably getting started for you.
It's 12:40 for me too, but yeah, my day's been going good. By the way, I'm not going to be able to join for a month after Friday. I'm going to be away.
Man, can I ask where you're going, or is that personal, private?
No, that doesn't matter. I'm going to Pennsylvania. I'm going to be working at a camp. And the thing is,
camp.
There's going to be like
one of those joints with like zero Wi-Fi.
It's not even that. It's like I'm not even allowed to have like a phone or computer on me. So
when you come back with like a fully grown beard.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
No, that's what's up. Were you going in end of July?
This next Sunday.
Oof. Okay. Well, we're gonna miss you, Matt. So let's get this final stream or two in with Matt before he goes on hiatus. Like I said, football conversations are back, but there are some basketball things that I want to knock out of the way first before we get into football, because there is summer league and some people talk about summer league, and this summer league's been fun. I don't know. I kind of like this summer league. I don't know about you. This is one of the first summer leagues that I've actually started to pay attention to again. I haven't really been eyeing summer league in a while. I remember the Lonzo Ball summer league I was watching. I watched Chet a little bit last year, but I'm actually really liking this year's summer league. There's a lot of guys who I'm really paying attention to. There's some injuries, though, to a couple guys that's knocking some guys out of summer league. But I'm really enjoying the summer league, obviously, because Victor Wembanyama, the most hyped up prospect, I think, in all of sports in my lifetime, is playing in summer league. And that's drawing a lot of eyes. So they actually played last night. The San Antonio Spurs played the Portland Trailblazers. They actually lost 80-85, but do we really care about summer league scores? We just care about just seeing the player. I don't think we really care about who wins it. We just care about seeing the player. This was supposed to be a Scoot versus Wembanyama. The NBA Summer League schedule makers are actually sweating it. Wembanyama was going to play Brandon Miller, and now he's supposed to play Scoot. So they've been putting all these guys head to head. But no Scoot. I think he has a shoulder injury. I don't know if he's out for the rest of the summer league. But we still got to see Victor Wembanyama play. And he played really well. 27
he did.
points, 12 rebounds, 3 blocks. He looked like Victor Wembanyama, because if you watch the first game, his debut on last Friday against Brandon Miller's Charlotte Hornets, the man was getting clowned.
Yeah.
It looked ugly for Victor Wembanyama.
He said himself he didn't know what the hell he was doing.
The TikToks, he looked nervous. He looked bad. The headlines for Victor Wembanyama already have been horrible with the Britney Spears drama. And now his first summer league game, he drops 9 points. I think he shot like 20% from the field. It was horrible. He looked scared. He was getting pushed around. He got dunked on. It looked bad for Victor Wembanyama. People were calling him fraud. I think, you know, the saying with every reaction is an equal and opposite reaction. Every action equal opposite reaction. So since Victor Wembanyama is getting so hyped up, I think people, whenever they see him fail, they're going to try to clown him as hard as he's getting hyped up. But what a bounce back game for Victor Wembanyama. What's your quick thoughts on that game first before I give you mine?
I think first off, I think Wembanyama, even in his bad game, proved his worth defensively because he was a very good defender in that game. So even if the offense wasn't there for him, you could tell that he was going to be a force defensively. I think right from the moment he steps foot in the league. And offensively, in the second game, we saw what he's capable of, at least against guys closer to his age. So that just means that he has time to grow, more time to develop. There's not much I can say about Wemby that hasn't been said. It's like we all know he has great upside, great potential. Just gotta see if he gets there or not.
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly. When it comes to Victor Wembanyama, even if he doesn't touch that offensive ceiling, that defensive floor is so high. Like he could already come in the league and be Rudy Gobert. Even if he doesn't become that offensive player that we want him to be, he can just be a defensive guy, get you 5 blocks a game a night easily. Like he doesn't even have to take all the shots. Now they want him to take 20 shots a game. That's the goal. But even if his shot never falls, it never develops into what they think it could be, he's automatically Rudy Gobert when he steps on the basketball floor.
And with the Popovich extension, he's going to be coached by him for the next couple of years now. It's a guarantee.
And Tim Duncan and David Robinson in his ear. The man's going to be a defensive beast. Like his floor is so high. His ceiling is, we don't know what his ceiling is, but the floor is there, and it's already a high floor because of what we can see defensively. But if you can get the playmaking up, which he kind of flashed the other day, if you can get that 3-level scoring up, which he flashed the other day, this kid's scary. And we kind of saw the Victor Wembanyama that we've been waiting for. But if we're being honest, bro, I'm seeing NBA Twitter. I'm seeing TikTok, the reaction to Friday's game. I'm like, pulling an Aaron Rodgers here. RELEX. RELEX. Like, relax. It's summer league. NBA Twitter especially, like, y'all are so quick to call guys bust after one summer league game. These guys are kids.
They said the same thing about Trae Young in his summer league. He wasn't that good. And now look at him. Look at him now. He's like a top 5 point guard in the league.
Judge them when they're like 100 games into their NBA career, not their first summer league game.
Yeah.
Like y'all are expecting these dudes to be top 5 off rip. Like off rip. Like some people want these summer league guys, the rookies, to come into a summer league game and drop 35 points. How? No. Wembanyama, Wembanyama's a year younger than me. And I'm a kid. He's a baby. Like, who came from overseas. Now he's dealing with Britney Spears drama. He's getting used to an NBA whistle and competition. And his competition, he's going up against guys who've been in the NBA system for like 3 or 4 years, grown men. He was nervous. He's a nervous 19-year-old. And y'all already calling him a fraud. Now with a game under his belt. And it's cool. He just put up 27 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 blocks. He showed his elite 3-level scoring potential. He showed his Rudy Gobert defense. He's 7'5". Even if these kids have bad summer league games, pump the brakes. Pump the brakes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like you said, Trae Young, like some of these guys in the summer league go out there and put like 4 for 15 up, 6 fouls. Like, relax. They just started playing. This is their second game ever. They're getting used to an NBA whistle. The guy who's guarding him has been in the NBA G League system for 4 years. Relax. I'm not judging someone off summer league. Now, there could be some foreshadowing, some red flags, but you really can only tell in hindsight. You know what I'm saying? Like the inefficiency stuff, you can only really tell in hindsight. Because like you said, Trae Young. Now, is there some efficiency stuff with Trae Young today? Is there shot selection issues with Trae Young today? Yeah. But look what he turned out to. So I'm not putting too much stock into 2 games of summer league. Like, I'm not going to say dude's a bust a game or 2 into summer league.
No,
Like,
not
okay.
doing that.
Call me when they have 100 games in the regular season. They're 2-3 seasons in. And Matt, even if Victor Wembanyama has like a mid rookie season, you're gonna
Yeah,
call him a bust?
I wouldn't. It depends on how bad it is. Because if it's like Anthony Bennett bad, I could kind of say like, yeah,
Okay.
he's going to be
He's
a
not gonna
bust.
be Anthony Bennett
No,
bad.
no,
I can
no, no. I'm
guarantee
not.
you that.
Yeah, no. I think he's. But by the time he's 10 games in, he's going to be better than Anthony Bennett.
Oh, and since the last stream, I did watch you were in the last stream, right? When we ranked the players.
Yeah,
I did watch the Britney Spears video, and let me tell you,
dude, she's no.
I
No.
did watch it finally because it did get leaked over
I
the
think it did
weekend.
just get released right when we actually ended the stream.
Yeah, I did watch it, and man, I can't blame Victor at all. And it's so funny on Twitter because
She's been irrelevant for so long. She's just fishing for attention at this
the Britney
point.
Spears fans on Twitter are absolutely like trying to get anything on Victor Wembanyama, any air ball, anytime he falls to the ground, they try to call him trash. And it's like, oh my god! Like
This is
the girl that
this
you
is the
look up to has
funniest
been
rivalry
irrelevant
that
for
I've ever
15.
seen.
Like the girl you're looking up to has been irrelevant for 15 years. Like I think I was in what? Like I was using crayons last time your stan was relevant. But hey, man, Wimby, it's America, bro. Paparazzi's crazy. Celebrities are crazy. I'd stay away from that if I were you. Wembanyama. But one last NBA thing before we rank every starting quarterback in the NFL. The in-season tournament was announced.
Mm-hmm.
So it's official. The NBA has announced the addition to the in-season tournament, which basically, if you don't know what the in-season tournament is, it's an in-season tournament. They did like a pool draft the other day based on your record. There's 3 pools in each conference. The West has 3 pools. The East has 3 pools. They randomly selected who would be in the pool. I think it's 5 teams per pool. Basically, it's kind of like World Cup play a little bit. Like you play each team in your pool, and the best team from that pool moves on to the actual tournament. And there's going to be a wild card. There's a wild card also. So the winners of each pool. I'm terrible explaining it right now. Let me lock in. So the NBA tournament, basically, let me lock in and explain it. What it is there's pools of teams. There's 3 pools in each conference, 5 teams per pool. And each team is going to play every team in that pool once throughout the regular season, I think on Tuesdays and Fridays in November. And the team with the best record in that pool, they're going to play 2 home games and 2 away games. The team with the best record in that pool will advance to the actual tournament. And so we have 3 teams per conference advance to the actual tournament. Now, one additional team per conference is also going to advance to the wild card team. They're the best record that didn't win the pool. And they're going to move on as well. And they're going to keep playing like a single game elimination until I think the second to last games and the final game are in Vegas. It's weird too, because I think the final game is an additional game. And if you reach the tournament, if you reach the championship, you'll play 83 games on your schedule. And these count as regular season stats. Are you a fan of this tournament? I'm still kind of confused, as you can tell by how I'm explaining it.
You probably know it more than I do. I couldn't give you my opinion on it if I wanted to. I just heard that there's an in-season tournament. They try to I know it's going to be called cups. They're like where they're kind of like copying soccer in a way.
It's like a cup. It's like
I don't know how it's going to work. I would honestly need to see it play out. I don't know if I could really read it or have someone explain it to me and I could like fully understand what it means.
Do you think like 39-year-old LeBron James? Do you think knee-riddled injury Kawhi Leonard is going to care about an in-season tournament?
No.
I need to see how this plays out because I'm seeing how these guys are resting. Now, there's an incentive, though. The NBA did create an incentive, which I left out. I think the winner of the tournament gets about – each player on the winning team gets about $500,000, which is huge. And I made the
exception. So maybe they would.
So maybe they would, but still, like guys like LeBron, like how much money does LeBron have? Like, are these dudes going to – I don't know if veterans are going to really care. I don't know. Maybe the young teams.
I think actually a lot of them will.
Let's see. I'm excited. This first season, I think a lot of people are not going to like it because it's the first season, but give it a year or two, maybe it works.
Yeah, maybe.
But I want to talk really quick about the importance of this tournament because even if you don't agree with the addition of the tournament or not, it's there and it's not going to go away this season. it's going to bring a conversation that we need to talk about, which is how this will affect legacy talks. Because, when we evaluate players' legacies, two huge factors we take into consideration are accolades. Some people don't, but how many championships do you have? People take that into account. And impact on winning, like what's your playoff runs look like? How was your resiliency in the biggest moments? Like people take that into account. Now, this in-season tournament is a tournament. You do win a cup, you get a trophy. These are technically big games, like the final games in Vegas. And they're going to require some great performances to win these games. Are we going to treat these like normal regular season games? Or because I think these stats do count for your regular season. Or when we talk legacies, are these games and performances and winning a cup something more special to account for? Like when we talk about Nikola Jokic's legacy when he retires, are we going to bring up the fact that he won an in-season tournament? Are we going to talk about if Steph Curry drops 45 points in the closeout of the in-season tournament, are we adding that in Curry's legacy over like Magic Johnson?
I don't think so. I wouldn't do that just because like whenever something new is implemented into the league, like the 3-point line, for example, like even when I'm comparing like Curry to players from like before the 3-point line, which is like 60s, early 70s, I'm not going to use the fact that Curry's the GOAT 3-point shooter as like a real reason, like to boost Curry or move down the older guys, just because like there's no real reason for me to do that, to like just to keep it fair, stuff like that. Like I don't like look at finals MVPs just because like there weren't any finals MVPs until 69, stuff like that.
Like I just think it's funny because imagine when we're doing the Jokic Giannis debate when it's all said and done, and the separator to people is that Jokic has an in-season tournament cup and Giannis doesn't.
I mean, yeah.
Imagine that's the separator.
I mean, it's like I'm thinking about it. Like it's been a thing for 2 years now, but like the Eastern and Western Conference Finals MVPs, it's like LeBron has never gotten one, and Jason Tatum has. It's like it's stuff like that. That it's like I don't think any of these new accolades should really be implemented. Plus, I don't use accolades at all.
I'm not gonna lie though, I've never heard anyone say Steph Curry was a Western Conference Finals MVP in the Magic Steph debate. So yeah,
yeah, that is true.
I've never heard that, but it's just gonna be interesting because you do get a cup. It is kind of like a championship final. Like, what if you have the 50 points in a championship final, you win? Like, are people going to bring that up as like impact on winning? Would that count as impact on winning in players' legacy debates? Because like that game that they're playing, that could have been just a normal regular season game because it does technically count for regular season stats, but it's technically not a normal regular season game because you're playing for a tournament cup.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if it
like Matt, like think about value. This too. Think about this too. When people say like this is one of the greatest seasons ever, like Akeem in '94, because Akeem won all those accolades and won the championship.
Oh, okay. Think so you're saying like if somebody was like MVP, like depoy, in-season tournament, stuff like that, all in the same year.
Yeah. Think about that in like 10 years when we talk about who had some of the greatest seasons ever. What if someone swept all the awards and got the tournament cup? Think about that.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
That could affect legacy talks.
Yeah, maybe.
Because imagine you're the MVP, you won the chip, you got the Finals MVP, a depoy, All-Star Game MVP, and then tournament champ. Is there a Finals MVP to this tournament?
I have
no clue. I have yet to hear if there's a tournament Finals MVP. If there is, though, that would be interesting. Like, or just like tournament MVP. Because remember the bubble had MVP.
Yeah.
Is that on Damian Lillard's resume, by the way, or is that like?
Oh, actually, I don't even know. Like if they would show that on like Basketball Reference.
Real quick. So I'm a Wikipedia merchant. No.
Really? They don't show the fact that he was an MVP in the bubble?
7-time All-Star, All-NBA, 4-time second team, 2-time third team. Rookie of the year, first team All-Rookie, 75th anniversary team, teammate of the year. I didn't know, like, that's okay. NBA 3-point champion. And here's his college stuff. So bubble MVP is not on. Is bubble MVP an official accolade? I don't think it's going to tell me. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's not. I looked it up and it's whatever. We can just get into the NFL starting quarterback rankings. Well, Kieran isn't joining us, which I guess he's just not joining. He never said he will join or not, but he never said he couldn't join. But
maybe he'll just pop in like right when it's about to end.
Maybe he'll pop in, and then he'll just give us opinions at the end. Matt, I haven't been in football discussion since I think like April. So I think you're going to have to carry this discussion a little bit.
All right. Yeah, I could do that.
I haven't been in a football so this might be a Matt segment. I'm not going to lie, this is a Matt segment. If I hear anything outrageous, I'll fight back. But I haven't been in football talks since April, and this is the reason why I'm doing it, to get my head back in football space. But I haven't been in a football talk since April. So this is a Matt segment. This list is going to be mostly Matt. So let's do it. Ranking every starting quarterback in the NFL. We're going to start at the bottom. We're not going to do the top. Say the top.
All right, starting at the bottom.
Bottom up. So 32 up. So rookies, we're counting rookies. Now I think we're going to put all the rookies at the bottom. So it's really which rookie you like the best. So I think about who's coming in with the rookie. Now, there's some situation. It's tricky. Okay, let me say this. We also have to establish when we say ranking every starter, because some rookies might not start week 1. We're going to have to identify the starter for each team first, because Anthony Richardson was drafted by the Colts, my Colts at 4. But is Anthony Richardson starting week 1?
I think he is.
He is, okay. Because
I think so.
I think Nick Foles got cut. Who's their other quarterback?
It's between him and it's between him and Gardner Minshew. And I think Richardson.
Let's just identify Anthony Richardson as a starting quarterback.
Yep.
Same thing for, I think the Commanders. Did they officially say they're going with Sam Howell? Because didn't they draft somebody?
I don't think they drafted anybody. No.
Oh, okay. Oh, it was the Panthers. The Panthers, I think, drafted somebody.
No, the Panthers signed Andy Dalton, and he was getting first team reps.
I'm dumb. They drafted literally Bryce Young.
Of course.
Number 1.
Of course, they drafted Bryce Young, and then Andy Dalton. They signed him. He was taking first team reps. But I think Bryce Young is going to be the week 1 starter. Ultimately, he's the number 1 overall pick. I don't see any reason why you would sit him. Those are the 3 rookies that are considered starting.
Frank Wright said Andy Dalton's probably the day 1 starter, right?
I don't know if he did say that.
I think Frank Wright said Andy Dalton week 1. Let's see. It's not official.
Yeah, and then none of these are official. I think the only one that I could confidently say is going to happen is Stroud is going to be starting week 1 for Houston.
Unless you want to roll out Davis Mills again.
No.
Davis Mills instantly 32 on this list. Okay, so we have Anthony Richardson. We have to identify the rookies, because I can't rank a rookie over somebody who's starting.
So I think 32 would be Richardson, just because he's the worst prospect out of the 3. 31 would be Stroud.
Don't talk about my Colts like that.
No. I said prospect. I said prospect. I think as a player, he's going to end up being number 1 in this quarterback class. Let me get that out of the way. That's my projections.
He's going to end up being better than Bryce Young.
I think Anthony Richardson is going to be better than Bryce Young, and the reason why I say that is because I think this Colts situation for him is a lot better than Bryce Young's situation in Carolina. I mean, look at Jalen Hurts and his quarterback archetype, who's a rushing quarterback, and he can. And he was in the Stain Steichen offense last season. Richardson is a more athletic quarterback than Hurts, and I think in time, maybe not after year 1, but in time, Richardson will be the best player or the best quarterback in this draft class.
Oh, guess the Colts head coach is the OC of the Philadelphia Eagles.
He was.
Who's a big intricate part in developing Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not a big fan
better.
of my guy Michael Pittman, though. I don't think he could be the AJ.
Yeah. I don't think the receiving core is going to do it, but I think it could be like Burrow, where you could get a very good weapon after year 1, like in a Jamar Chase.
And I'm still a Jonathan Taylor believer, because I feel like
I am too.
Down. I still think JT's a top 10 back in this game.
Yep.
Once they revamp that O-line, put him there. And those read options, those RPOs with Taylor and Richardson.
Yeah.
Really? He does have an insane ceiling. I just think the floor, though, of a CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, I'm more comfortable taking those quarterbacks.
Yeah, I am too. But yeah, 31, I would say Stroud, and 30, I would say it's Bryce Young. And that's simply based off how good they were as prospects. I'm not projecting anything in these rankings for the NFL.
Because we haven't seen them play in the NFL. Like, we just have to base them off like how they were drafted, how we saw them out of college.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so those are the 3 rookies who are probably starting day one.
Yep.
So now we got to get to the already starting quarterbacks who just aren't that good.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I'm guessing, guys, I'm thinking of was like a Sam Howell.
29, and I don't have Sam Howell, actually. I have Desmond Ridder.
Oh, okay, there we go.
For the Atlanta Falcons. He started 2 games last year.
Who's in that quarterback room for the Atlanta Falcons other than Desmond Ridder?
Taylor Heineke.
They let go of Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, they cut him, and he's on the Eagles now.
I want to say this about the NFL offseason. The NBA offseason's way better because I feel like I know where everyone in the NBA – that might just be me keeping more tabs on the NBA with like Woj and Shams. But I feel like since there's like – I think there's less players in the NBA.
It can be easier to remember that kind of stuff.
It's a more star-driven league. I think the NBA free agency is like more easy. It's easier to keep track of where all these players go.
Yeah.
In the NFL, like whenever I load up a new Madden or I see like these day one, week one CBS graphics, I'm like, that dude's a Charger? Like I just wouldn't even know that dude left.
Yeah. Yeah, like I remember I was on a live right after the finals.
Sam Darnold's a 49er. Like, is Sam Darnold a 49er?
Yeah, he is.
I didn't even know that. I know. Okay, here we go. Some casual takes. Okay. I get it. But
yeah,
like these moves, like I never knew that happened. And I'm a huge NFL fan, but this happens every year in the NFL. NBA, I know where like the 15th man in the Houston Rockets ends up, but I don't know where like actual like veteran quarterbacks end up in football. But okay, there we go. Desmond Ridder is at 29. Who's 28 for you, sir?
28. That's Sam Howell, who I think is going to have an all right year. Just haven't seen enough. It's off of a 1-game sample size.
Who's in that quarterback room? Because Carson Wentz is gone.
Who's in the Commanders' quarterback room? There's a veteran in there that I'm not remembering. I'm double checking right now.
Depth chart. I'm just gonna have the depth charts on hand now.
Okay, right. Jacoby Brissett. That's the veteran
There we go. Hey, that's one of the best backup quarterbacks in football.
So I agree.
Their head coach is still Ron Rivera, right? Because I know he was on the hot seat for a little bit.
I think he's going to be the first coach to be fired midseason, though.
Yeah, I'm surprised I thought he was going to get fired last season.
I thought he was going to get fired after he said that. After he didn't know that he could get eliminated from the playoffs, and like.
Oh yes, you're right. Yes, that's why.
No.
So they officially said Sam Howell over Jacoby Brissett because Jacoby Brissett was winning games with the Browns. Jacoby Brissett from the Patriots system.
I think they've made it quite clear that like Sam Howell is their starter.
Hey, Georgia legend Jake Fromm, third string. So
exactly.
All right, so Sam Howell, 28. Hey, Sam Howell outplayed Dak Prescott in a big game for the Cowboys. So who knows? Sam Howell might be cooking. Are you a big Desmond Ridder fan, by the way? He's from UC.
No.
I'm not really a huge Desmond Ridder fan, too.
No. He's like a worse version of Kirk Cousins. So
hey, he's got Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, that's gonna carry him. That yak is gonna be carrying his passing yards.
A dude who was getting taken like what was he, 5th, 4th in the draft 2 years ago?
4th.
And he still gets taken high in fantasy football because reasons.
Upside potential.
Upside.
Yep.
Hey, next Gronk. Okay. Florida Gator. Okay, so we're moved on here. So I'm thinking about some quarterbacks right now. Can't rank Zach Wilson anymore, so I can't throw him at the bottom.
Yep. No Zach Wilson.
So let's look. Who can I throw at the bottom? Are you high on Justin Fields?
No, but I don't have him that low.
Okay, so I'm scanning that starting.
At number 27, I have Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. Okay, so you're not. What are you basing this Jordan Love ranking? Like you
said, I'm basing it off of the games that he's played so far, which have been fine.
No projections. This is what we think.
Yeah, this is no projections.
Just rankings, no projections. Yep. There we go. Jordan Love. Now let me ask you about Jordan Love.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is not messing up the rankings, just your projections on Jordan Love, because he's kind of hyped up as, remember when Aaron Rodgers took over Favre? Now people are kind of saying this is the moment now for him to take over Rodgers, kind of like that transition.
Yeah.
Jordan Love, I think, what is he in year 4 now, riding the bench? I think he was drafted in 2020.
He was drafted.
He
Yeah,
was
that
drafted
would be.
after Aaron Rodgers won an MVP.
Yeah, that would be right. He would be entering
He's in
year
year
4.
4 now, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Time's going by since COVID.
Yeah, it
What's your thoughts
has.
on Jordan Love? Do you think this is going to work? I always see mixed opinions on Jordan Love. Some people think he's actually going to be pretty solid. I think somebody big in sports media had the Packers make the playoffs, and it was because of Jordan Love. Do you see a step from Jordan Love coming?
Yeah, I do. I think he's going to take a big step up. So it's like I don't want anybody to like see this and be like, "Oh, you disrespected Jordan Love." No, this is just as of right now. Yeah, I think Love is going to take a step up. My only concerns with him is that I really don't love this. I don't love his receiving core.
You're not really high on that receiving core, really.
Yeah, I mean, I like Jaden Reed, the rookie.
Romeo
But
Dobbs, Christian Watson,
I'm not high on Christian Watson. I'm not high on Christian Watson.
and
I feel like
Jaden. Really? Because remember he
he,
had that stretch of touchdowns, and everyone was kind of high on Christian
that's
Watson.
exactly why he's overrated, because people are like, "Oh, you should pick up Christian Watson in fantasy," but they're not. But it's like when I'm watching him as a player, it's like he doesn't have like his route running. It's not refined. It's kind of just like he creates separation off of like just like bouncing off the corner off the 3 yards of line of gain and then just getting open, really. And that's fine. It works. It's just there's more effective ways to get open, in my opinion.
And they got Jalen. So they got some young guys there. No more Randall Cobb. I think he's a Jet. I think
He's a Jet.
He came over to Aaron Rodgers.
Yep, Wizard and
Lazard's
Cobb,
a Jet
both of
too,
them are
right? He
Jets.
came over to Aaron Rodgers.
And Robert Tunyon, he's a Bear now.
Yeah, they got Luke Musgrave as their starting tight end.
Yeah, couldn't tell you anything about him.
They got some young guys. They're a bunch of young guys. Still have Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon. Is this a playoff team to you? I don't think they're better than the Vikings. No. They're not better than Detroit. They're going to be competing with Chicago. That's what I see.
I think Chicago's going to be terrible. I don't think they're going to.
They're probably better than Chicago. Well, it depends who you ask. Some people are higher on Justin Fields taking a leap with DJ Moore.
Yeah, I do think the Packers are a playoff team, but that's just because like the NFC is so weak that I think
NFC is weak this year. It's very stacked in the
AFC. There's gonna be a bad team that sneaks in. I think it's gonna be.
There's some teams in the AFC who are going to miss the playoffs who I believe could make the playoffs in the NFC. So
I think
AFC is going to.
I mean, yeah, if you're just looking at records, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams with a better record than the 7th seed in the NFC.
I don't know. I kind of feel like if Aaron Rodgers couldn't take this team to the playoffs, is Jordan Love? I don't know. But maybe Jordan Love doesn't sell. Who knows? Okay, let's go on to 26.
26, I have a veteran quarterback that I think is pretty bad. He's fallen off quite a bit. It's Ryan Tannehill.
Yes, Ryan Tannehill. That was a really poor season from Ryan Tannehill. Let me pull up his numbers here. Really poor season for Ryan Tannehill.
It's not even just the numbers. It's that like his pocket presence that's taken a step back. His accuracy has taken a step back. His deep ball has taken a step back. Like I know that his help isn't as good as it used to be. Even still, when he had Derrick Henry and he had healthy Treylon Burks, it still wasn't looking good for him.
ESPN, what are these ads? Okay. Yo, the ads, first of all, I want to say the ads on ESPN, dude, they're killing me. This biggest company ever with Disney contract is killing me with these ads. Yeah, the completion percentage, it's dipping. The quarterback rating is dipping. 49 QB rating, QBR. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. And it was 72.6 when they went to that AFC Championship game a couple years ago.
Yeah. He used to be a solid quarterback, but
I think he was a Pro Bowler like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I think he was a Pro Bowler. They were one of the better teams. He was completing his passes. He was looking pretty solid, but that's when they had A.J. Brown. And look where it has turned. Ryan Tannehill is down here. So we got Tannehill at 26. So you believe Justin Fields is better than Tannehill?
I do, yeah.
So where is Justin Fields on this list?
He's a 20, but
Ooh, okay. So we got a couple spots here. Last thing on the Titans, how quick till Will Levis takes this spot this
I
season?
would week two,
Week 2. That's a
week
little
two,
quick. They have
week two.
Malik Willis as the second street per ESPN.
I
Um,
mean, I think that I did see just this morning that Malik Willis is out playing Will Levis in like OTAs, but they're still probably going to get rid of
there's no way
Malik
Malik Willis.
Willis.
I saw how he played Kansas City on that primetime game. I don't want to see that ever again. Like
Yeah,
I don't
I
want to
mean,
see that ever
I'm a
again.
fan of Malik Willis at Liberty. In the NFL, I don't think it's going to work for him.
I don't want to see that ever again. That play I saw on national TV. I pushed back my homework to see that game because Sunday Night Football, I just could never do homework during that time, and I can't believe I wasted my time. Okay, 25. Who are we
Uh,
putting at 25?
Now this guy is a tough one because he just not he. We don't even know if he's going to be on a roster by the
Hmm.
beginning of the year. It's Jimmy Garoppolo
Ooh.
because he could still get cut
Why would he get cut? Is it health
because
related?
yeah. You see, he failed his physical last month, and if he fails it again, according to his contract and the NFL rules, they would be forced to cut him, and the Raiders' starting quarterback would be Aiden O'Connell.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Vegas.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
they
So
signed Brian Hoyer. They signed Brian Hoyer. Hey.
okay, even worse. Oh my God, Brian Hoyer's terrible.
Yeah, Jimmy G's listed as questionable right now. I'm trying to see the latest news on Jimmy G. They
I don't know when
said
his next physical is, but if he fails it, then he's not going to be
the
ready.
Raiders have said they have no anxiety over Raiders QB situation.
Yes, they do.
But he did sign that waiver for that foot injury, though.
Exactly.
So who knows? But I think we're just going to project a bit that Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't get cut, and he is the
Yeah. I
starting
mean, you kind of
quarterback.
have to. He's listed as the QB1. If everything goes to plan, he will start. So
This offense, by the way, is pretty good.
yeah,
When you think
no,
about it.
no.
Josh Jacobs, top
Yeah,
10 back in the game.
Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams are awesome, but dude, like the
You just don't
offensive
like Jacoby
line.
Myers. Just say it. Patriots
No,
fan.
no, 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 no. I do like Jacoby Myers. Don't get me wrong, but the thing is that Jacoby Myers isn't this like. Um, I don't think he could be some
They
elite
drafted
wide
Michael
receiver
Mayer,
too.
the kid Michael Mayer.
Yeah, and Michael Mayer is awesome too. I just don't see the Josh McDaniels making anything good out of an offense. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, he's always been a disappointing head coach. They still got Chandler Jones and Max Crosby on the two ends. So,
Chandler Jones, Jesus
hey,
Christ.
Patriots legend. We'll see how Jimmy Garoppolo makes it work. They're not making the playoffs per my prediction. Okay, so we got
Yeah, I have them as the worst team in the league next year.
whoa, worst team.
2 wins.
Okay, so pulling up ESPN is lagging my stream, so I'm gonna do it on my phone so I can see the depth charts. I don't know why it's doing that, but it's just lagging my phone. Okay, we're gonna go to 25 here.
25. Garoppolo was 25.
Oh, my bad. 24. 24 like
Yeah.
Kobe.
All right. 24. I have Baker Mayfield for Tampa.
Baker. Hey,
I'm a
Tom
Baker.
Brady's replacement.
I'm a
Big
Baker
Baker
fan.
Mayfield.
I'll admit it. I like Baker Mayfield, and I hope he plays well, but I don't think he will. I'm sorry. This Tampa Bay team is going to suck. I think they're going to be the second to worst team in the NFC next year. I don't see Baker Mayfield being the answer to this Tampa Bay team.
I mean,
This receiving
Mike
core is
Evans
great.
is still there, praying that Godwin's healthy. The running game took
Yeah,
a hit. No more Leonard Fournette.
I do like Rashad White though.
He's nice. They got Chase Edmonds in the backfield if there's anything left of him.
No.
I don't know, man. This Bucks team definitely got worse. They definitely didn't have an offseason that looked like an offseason trying to win a championship. That definitely wasn't a championship type offseason, which they've had over the last 3 years. I don't think they're making the playoffs. I don't think they're going to be a particularly great team. Kyle Trask is behind him.
Maybe Kyle Trask might get some. I bet he does get some playing time.
I feel so bad because, like you said, I'm from Ohio. I watched all those Browns games because I get them locally. I was a huge fan of Baker Mayfield, man, even coming out of college. Not saying like I was a huge fan of his game per se. I just liked Baker. A lot of people didn't like
Yeah,
his
exactly.
personality. I liked Baker, and I always root for Baker to succeed. I don't think he's a bad guy.
Yeah,
Other than
exactly.
that police video that everyone tried to shove down our throats. But I root for him. Is he probably going to get benched? Probably.
Probably, yeah.
Probably. He's going to throw a couple
Plus, I
interceptions,
think
try
that.
to force a
Plus,
deep
I
ball
think
to
this
Mike Evans. Probably.
this coaching staff is probably the worst in the NFL.
Yeah, is Todd Bowles a great offensive head coach?
No.
No. He's got the defense, though. But if the defense isn't playing great, where's this team? I don't know.
If they still had Bruce Arians, I would feel a little bit better about it.
Yeah, I just don't really like this offense. They have the pieces there. The pieces did get worse. Oh, they don't have Scotty Miller no more.
Nope. Scotty Miller is. Oh God, where did Scotty Miller go? I want to
Skip
say.
Bayless likes to say, "Little Scotty Miller." They don't have
Damn,
Scotty
I
Miller
think Scotty
anymore.
Miller's on the Falcons, if I'm not mistaken.
He really got. Did he get paid? There's no way.
No, he
I
didn't.
don't think Scotty Miller's that good.
No,
He's just like a fast guy who
he
caught a
had
couple.
he had the one touchdown.
He caught a
in
couple
the,
insanity balls against the Packers in that NFC
Yeah.
Championship game, and made a name for himself. But let's move off from Baker. Let's get to 23.
23. I have Kenny Pickett.
And he picked 6. The double glove quarterback comes in at 23.
I think Kenny Pickett's going to take a leap.
So we're getting into a point now where we're ranking some established guys in the game, guys who have a year under their belt. So I might ask you, tell me why this guy's above this other guy. So you got Kenny Pickett over a guy like Ryan Tannehill or a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Can you kind of explain that?
Well, here's the thing. If you look at just the base stats, it'll tell you that Kenny Pickett was a bad quarterback last year. 9 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, subpar passer rating. But the truth is, when I'm watching these quarterbacks on film, which I think is much more valuable than just looking at the base stats for a couple seconds, I see Pickett having better physical tools than Tannehill. I see Pickett being more accurate than Tannehill. And to be honest, even though Garoppolo was pretty accurate last year, he has a hard time throwing the deep ball, which is something that I feel like Kenny Pickett does not have much of a problem with compared to Garoppolo. Now, the reason why a lot more of these quarterbacks might have better stats, there's a lot of different factors, especially with Garoppolo. He's playing with the biggest offensive mind in the league. I think the best offensive head coach in the league in Kyle Shanahan.
You thought he is? Okay.
Yeah. And then I see Kenny Pickett, who is kind of better at everything than Garoppolo. And yeah, that's just that.
I wonder where Brock Purdy's going to end up on this list. Because Brock Purdy's got a better deep ball than Jimmy Garoppolo.
He does.
Is Brock Purdy next?
No, he's not.
Okay,
Nope.
I was about to say.
The next guy I have is my man, Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
He took a fall off from his rookie season.
It seems like he took a fall off. I feel like Mac Jones
he was a top 15 quarterback in his rookie
16,
season
last year. He took a dip. Now when I'm watching the Patriots last year, you could say Mac Jones took a step back in his forward progression. But could you also blame the staff here and the weapons he had? I don't think the Patriots had the best offensive staff in the world. I don't think
his offensive coordinator was Matt Patricia, who's been a defensive coordinator his entire life.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think, Patricia, not a real offensive guy. He's defensive coordinator. We saw his Lions head coach stint. Bill Belichick, not the best offensive mind in the world. Their weapons.
Mac is going to take a step up with Bill O'Brien as his offensive coordinator because Bill O'Brien
last year weren't particularly fast. They never really had great weapons. Yeah. Now, but he's still, there were still some errors from Mac Jones that I saw, but I didn't want to pedal on Mac Jones too harsh for the New England Patriots. He was 14 touchdowns to 11 INTs, 36.1 QBR, which was 28th in the league. It's pretty disgusting. Almost 3,000 yards. I still see some things out of Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones, when I think about Mac Jones, I think he's just going to be middle of the pack quarterback for pretty much.
His ceiling is Kirk Cousins, man.
That's probably like 11, 12, 13 guy max in the league.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, he's not Peyton Manning slow, but he's not like most fastest guy in the world, most athletic guy in the world. His arm isn't the best in the world. It's not terrible, but it's like not like the best arm in the world. But they did make some offseason moves, I believe. They got some pieces to kind of give him
They got Juju and
Juju.
and they brought in Mike Gesicki, and then
Matt Slater's still on the roster. Shout out to
Matt Slater. That's my man. And they're still in the mix for D-Hop. And if that happens,
that's something else that I've been keeping an eye on. I don't know how DeAndre Hopkins is still on the market.
It's just because I think he's just trying to make the best decision for himself. And I bet he is waiting it out to see if the teams can get desperate and then give him a larger contract, because I did see the Titans did make a pretty good offer to him.
How old is he about now? He's got to be over 30.
He's 31 or 32 at this point.
But you see, like, I guess that would be perfect for Mac Jones. That would be perfect for Mac Jones. Their running back too, I really like too. He played pretty well last year.
Stevenson was awesome last year.
He was awesome last year. You put in a DeAndre Hopkins to that lineup, put him against a Juju. Devontae Parker, not like the worst guy in the world. It's a big three of receivers right there for Mac Jones. It's better than last year.
Yeah.
They got some guys. They got that Thornton guy. He's 22 years old.
Tyquan Thornton. I love Tyquan Thornton. I think
22 years old. They need some more speed in that offense. I had him projecting taking a speedy wide receiver out of college.
Yep.
Now, DeAndre Hopkins, though, I'm not – be a Colt. Please be a Colt. Please be a Colt. That will work wonders to Anthony Richardson's development, by the way. But they could put him outside with Pittman. That would work wonders for his legacy. That would basically be like Jalen Hurts' A.J. Brown. Colts make an offer, please. But we can move on from Mac Jones. We get to 21 now. We're almost out of the 20s. Who's 21?
For 21, I have Brock Purdy.
This is where Purdy lands. Interesting. Now, Brock Purdy barely – did Brock Purdy lose as a starter last year? Did he lose?
I think he just lost as a starter when he got hurt.
Yeah, was it the NFC Championship? Was that Brock Purdy's only loss? But he was hurt.
Yes, but that's the problem, is that winning is not a quarterback stat, and that people will look at Purdy and say he won all the games that he was playing, or that he started in, and except for the one that he got hurt, they'll say that they'll say, oh, well, it doesn't matter who's got the traits because the winning is the goal at the end of the day, but you also should look at the fact that Garoppolo was also thriving in that. Jimmy Garoppolo thrived in that system, which I think says a lot.
You think he's more of a?
He's a product of a system.
Yeah, you think he's more of a Shanahan merchant than a legit guy who would take you to a Super Bowl. Now, I want to give Brock Purdy some credit though, because although he did play Shanahan's system, Deebo Samuel's an elite rat guy. He's got some elite rat guys. Brandon Ayuk's a great player.
CMC.
George
Kittle, best tight end in the league.
He was still 13-4 touchdown interception ratio. He's a smart quarterback, though, and you got to love his pocket presence isn't horrible. He stands in. He's smart. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot. I do give Brock Purdy some credit, though, but I do see some film. You got guys who can make – you got one of the best yak tight ends like ever, George Kittle. George Kittle. You have Deebo Samuel, extremely fast, athletic guy who's basically just like a running back with receiver gloves, honestly. The man can just take anything to the house. He's got all those weapons, and I am seeing film. He's kind of just putting balls in spots and letting his receivers kind of just go to work.
Yeah.
But he's not turning the ball over, though, and he's making plays. He's staying in the pocket. But
product of the system.
Product of the system. Okay. So we got Brock Purdy at 21. So now 20. Yep. Let's get out of these 20s, man. What's 20?
I mentioned him earlier, Justin Fields. I know a lot of people like putting Justin Fields high. My problem with Justin Fields is that he has shown zero, and I mean that, zero progressions as a passer since entering the league. And I know a lot of people are going to talk about his bad situation, but like there are times that he does have a clean pocket. There are times that he does have receivers open. He hasn't improved as a passer.
I think he's made some improvements.
I haven't seen it.
Last year comparisons from this year, he threw more passing touchdowns, I believe.
That's just probably because he's playing more games and.
Well, he played 3 more games, threw 10 more passing touchdowns, and 1 more interception.
That's a good improvement.
55 sacks last season.
Yeah, his situation is horrible, and he could be good in the right situation, but as a passer, I haven't seen it from Justin Fields yet. And
But what about his legs? His legs does get into attack because that dude can produce on the ground as well. 8 touchdowns over 1K yards on the ground. Are you putting his legs into this conversation?
yeah, we can. I just don't think it's enough to like really um, give him the edge as a passer because like it's great that he has that. I just don't think his passing
I
is
will say real
is
quick, why
there.
Baker over Jimmy Garoppolo?
Why Baker over Jimmy Garoppolo? Just because I think Baker like has better physical tools than Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, um,
And why Baker over Tannehill?
just because I think they're better overall quarterbacks than them, more accurate. I think Baker has a better deep ball than both of them. Um, I
Can I
think Baker has.
retool? Can I retool the list real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Me personally, I mean, I'm Mac Jones, Justin Fields, Brock Purdy. That's fine placement. I'll retool it later, but I would suggest moving Baker right above Jordan Love, but below Garoppolo and Tannehill.
Okay, sure.
I would put that. Um, Kenny pick 6 too. I'd also move him below 2. I'd also move Kenny pick 6. I'll put pick 6 above Baker. Baker, touchdown maker. But I'll put Garoppolo and Tannehill above Pickett. Garoppolo and Tannehill, I don't think there's a big difference between the two. Mac Jones, I believe, is better than both. Purdy's nice there, and Fields is nice there at 20. Okay, here we go. 19.
19. Okay. Uh, so they got the most overrated quarterback in the league.
Uh-oh.
All right, let me say that. People overrate him because of his base stats, but I'm telling you, this man has one of the best offensive coordinators in the league. People love to compare his stats to superstar quarterbacks. It's Jared Goff.
Ooh.
Jared Goff is the most
Ooh.
overrated quarterback in the NFL. He is not top 15. He's not top 10. He's not better than Kyler Murray. He's not better than Geno Smith, Dak Prescott. Anybody who says that Goff is this high is only looking at the base stats and not really watching the games. And they're not looking at the fact that Goff is just not as good as Dak, as Kyler. And that's the conversations that he's being put in. That's why he's the most overrated quarterback in the league. He doesn't have the accuracy to be as good as those guys. He doesn't have the pocket presence to be as good as those guys. He doesn't have the decision making to be as good as those guys. People will bring up Dak led the league in interceptions. Well, look at the fact that Jared Goff has Ben Johnson as his offensive coordinator, one of the best in the league. Jared Goff can be a
Well,
fine.
Dak did have um he just took over the Chargers spot. What's his name? Am I blanking? He's in the Chargers now.
I want to say
Dak's
his name is
OC.
like Herman.
No, Dak's offensive coordinator last year.
Yeah, I know. Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore, his former quarterback. Yeah. He was
Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
Kellen Moore's nice.
yeah. Kellen Moore was fine. I just don't think he's a better coordinator than Ben Johnson. I think Ben Johnson you could make the argument that he's one of the three best in the entire league. I mean, Goff can produce as a system quarterback. It doesn't mean that he's better than these guys who are just better than him.
Jared Goff last year. I know you don't like base stats. 4,000 yards,
I
29
know.
touchdowns to 7 INTs, 5th in QBR. I know you're not a base stats guy. You're a film
I
guy.
know. Yeah. Yeah, his stats were awesome.
That second half of the year, he was tearing it up.
Actually, he wasn't. He was just putting up good stats. He didn't have great pocket presence the entire time. His mobility has always lacked. His accuracy has always been subpar. Like, I don't. I'm not a Jared Goff fan.
Hmm. I'm gonna see where you put the rest of your list because I'm decently high in the Lions this year. Not as
I'm
high as
high. On
other
the,
people.
I'm high on the Lions too. I mean, I have them being finishing third in the NFC,
Mm. I think a lot of people do.
winning
I'm
the
not as high as
division.
that, but
I think they go 11-6.
let's see where you put above Jared Goff. Who's at 18?
Daniel Jones, not high on him either.
Daniel Jones over. I don't know if I can go Daniel Jones over Jared Goff. I don't know. Jared Goff's a better passer. Now Daniel Jones does make up some
I
production
don't
on
think
the
he is.
ground.
I don't
I
think
think
he
he's a better
is.
passer than Daniel Jones. I think he is.
Okay. Okay.
I think he's a better passer than Daniel Jones.
Sure.
I'm
I
not
think Jones.
sold.
I
I'm
think
not
Jones is
sold
more
on Daniel
accurate outside
Jones.
the numbers than Goff, and I value that a lot.
What'd you say?
I think Jones is better outside the numbers than Goff, and I value that a lot in a passer.
I mean, I don't think it's like the furthest thing off in the world. I just rather take Jared Goff as a passer. I do. Not the biggest fan of Daniel Jones as a passer. Now they're close, but I'd slightly take Jared Goff. But I don't know. It's also how much production, how much stock do you put in the ground production? Because that Daniel Jones is bring in what top 10 ground production for a quarterback.
Yeah.
Especially in the playoff game. Duke can rush for a couple touchdowns. Let's see how the rest of the list is. It's not bad. I mean, battle mid, anyways. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get tight over mid, so whatever. Okay.
Yeah. So at 17, I have somebody who did take a step back from being a borderline top 10 quarterback last year. That's a
Oh, you lagged. What'd you say?
Derek Carr for 17. He was a borderline
Derek
top 10
Carr. Okay,
quarterback
yeah, he did take a
last
step
year.
back. Yep, he did. That was not the best season in the world
It's
for Derek
Josh
Carr.
McDaniels effect. Yeah. There's not much I could really say about Derek Carr except for he could be he's probably going to get better with the Saints.
Division winner.
No.
Who you got
I
winning
think
the
that
division?
Atlanta.
Oh, so you're high on Atlanta. Okay.
I'm not high on anybody in that division. I just think
So that
Atlanta is
division, so the division winners are what going to be like 7-10? They're gonna
9
be
and
like
8.
9-8. Okay.
Yeah, I think the Falcons go 9 and 8, fourth in the NFC, but they're not going to be good.
Derek Carr last year wasn't bad. The Raiders were just blowing a lot of games last year.
Yeah, they were. They were.
That game against the Cardinals was bad. that
It
game against
was.
the Cardinals was. I can't really blame that on Derek Carr though. There were some games that Derek Carr was bad. The game against Pittsburgh was. Oh my, that was just awful.
Yeah,
That was an
yeah.
awful game
No,
for
Derek
him.
Carr played some really bad games, but
That loss to That was a loss to Baker Mayfield, right? At the Rams.
it was.
I think that was
That was
Baker
that, that
Mayfield's
was that was when
debut. Yeah.
Baker was signed like 2 days
And
earlier.
he
He
came
was
off
like,
the playing like that day. Yeah.
yeah. He
Derek
he
Carr was
was
bad.
like the day before he was at like an Airbnb, and then he's yeah.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I just think this is where Derek Carr is. I'm looking at his production. I'm looking at if I look at the film based off memory, because I'm not gonna lie, it's been a while since I looked at football film. Football's not really
Yeah.
portraying in season. He's just middle of the pack. Just middle of
Yeah.
the pack. Okay, 16. I will speed this up for the viewers.
Matthew Stafford.
Matt Stafford.
Another guy who
You're a
took a
little
step
lower
back.
on Matt Stafford than a lot of people are. A lot of people like putting Matt Stafford in borderline top 10 conversations I've been seeing, because I think he was that when they won the Super Bowl.
He was top 10 last year. Yeah, he was.
And then after
It's
this year, the Rams completely fell
shoulder
off,
injury.
and then he got hurt.
He's not going to come
Explain
back
your
from
Matt
that.
Stafford placement, because a lot of people be like, "Whoa, Matt Stafford's probably like 9 or 10 in the league."
No.
Explain your Stafford.
For Stafford, it's just the fact that you could see last year his injury really did take a toll on him. He tried to play through it, he couldn't. It's like these type of injuries are career ending, and I think like we saw snapshots of that from Stafford last year. And I mean, if he is really fully recovered now, he's not going to be the same Matthew Stafford that he was before, and that's just kind of the way that we're going to need to view it. He's kind of done. He's going to be washed after a year.
Think he's washed now?
I don't think I'm not going to say he's washed now. I'm projecting him to be a bottom 10 quarterback at the very least.
Well, I'm gonna retool the list based on who's coming up next. So who's 15?
15, I think, is Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson over Matt Stafford.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I think it's just because Wilson was god awful last year, but like,
So you
let's be honest,
a huge bounce back year from Wilson.
I do expect a big bounce back year from Russ.
Sean Payton.
Sean Payton, obviously, Kevin James, but the thing is that Look at the Broncos last year. It's like Sutton was dealing with injuries. Hamler had an injury towards the end of the year. Tim Patrick missed the entire year. Javonte Williams missed pretty much the entire year. Garrett Bowles pretty much missed the entire year. And then they add Sean Payton. They have a fully healthy receiving core. Jerry Jeudy just had his best season with a bad Russell Wilson. Javonte Williams is coming back. It's like I'm excited for what the Broncos can do next year. But as of right now, Russ did take a step back. I'm not going to put too much stock into him having a bad year because of everything I just said. But yeah, Russ is number 15 for me.
I don't think Russell Wilson's their starting quarterback. I think it's Ben DiNucci.
They have Ben DiNucci?
Yes.
I thought you were going to say Jarrett Stidham.
Nah. Hey, Jarrett Stidham had that one
Jarrett Stidham had,
game.
Yeah.
Against San Francisco.
The only quarterbacks to have an 100 passer rating against San Francisco last year was Patrick Mahomes and Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah, and that's some elite company.
Exactly.
San Francisco clamped Brady, clamped Tua. They were clamping some teams. And Jarrett Stidham walked in and put 30 points on that defense. Hey, that's an elite quarterback numbers right there. Russell Wilson last year, I kind of blame most of his season on his head coach. He's gone now. Because and personnel, like you said, receivers were just coming in out the lineup. There was no continuity for the Broncos all last year. New space for Russell Wilson. He still put up okay numbers, 3.5K yards, 16 TDs. The QBR was really bad for Russell Wilson. We'd never seen that from him before. He's usually like a high 60s, low 70s QBR type of guy, and he went all the way down to 35.7, 36.7.
Yeah.
We might be in that part of history where this is where Russell Wilson is now, but let's see who you put him at 14.
We'll see. 14, I have the most mid quarterback in the NFL, Kirk Cousins.
Okay. Kirk Cousins is his appropriate placement. He is the definition of slightly above average quarterback. A guy who can win you some games. A guy who could take you to a postseason. Ain't going to win you much.
He's going to be okay.
I don't even think he played particularly bad in that.
Against the Giants, he was actually really good. He was really good.
More of a defensive issue for the Vikings, but Kirk Cousins at 14, I think that's an appropriate placement. Kirk Cousins last season, pretty good numbers, really good. Also has Justin Jefferson that does some work, some numbers. The QBR is a little but when I look at the other base stats, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good. Only threw 8 incompletions in that postseason game. Okay, at 13.
13, I have the ultimate woman respecter, Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson. Remember when Deshaun Watson was at top 5 conversations in 2020, 2019?
I remember that, and you know what? He deserved it. That was before he, But yeah, that's the thing. Watson. Oh man, what could I say about him?
Why is he a Brown? I just don't like him in a Browns jersey.
I don't either.
Hey, he might be the best Browns quarterback ever.
Next to Otto Graham, but that's
since they came back.
What do you mean, since the Super Bowl era?
No, because they left the
Baltimore. For Baltimore, right?
Since they came back, that's what I mean. Unless you want to say Tim Couch, but this might be the best talent they had.
Yeah, in terms of talent.
Tim Couch, Baker Mayfield.
I mean, in terms of production, it's probably Baker Mayfield. In
Brian Hoyer.
Talent.
This was a really bad year for Deshaun Watson. He came back mid-season, had some solid.
Yeah, he wasn't even allowed to practice with the team. No, I'm not really. I'm not putting too much stock into the Deshaun Watson that I saw last year.
He just didn't look the same. He was throwing a lot of incompletions, a couple interceptions, really tight on the turnover.
He wasn't able to practice with his team. That's gonna happen.
Jacoby Brissett did look better, but again, he couldn't really practice. Came in late, had the drama. I expect more from this season, but right now 13 is a good placement. Again, this is not projections. This is where we think that is fall on a power ranking. 12. Who's 12?
Tua Tagovailoa.
Tua at 12. Okay, so you're giving Tua a little bit more credit than I would give Tua.
I give Tua a lot of credit.
I do see some accuracy stuff with Tua. I do think he's a pretty accurate quarterback, but I also see some Jalen Waddle Merchant, Tyreek Hill Merchant. Some of those numbers, some of those wins, you're kind of just throwing it up there. Some of those numbers are a little skewed to me just because I believe I'm seeing some of the film. Some of those deep balls are a little behind.
Yeah, they were. They were.
When you have a guy like Jalen Waddle who can take a 10-yard slant 80 yards to the house, it helps your numbers.
Yeah, but
I
I'm
do
not
think
looking at just the
he's a
numbers.
fairly accurate quarterback with or without him.
I think his quarterback inside and outside the numbers really helps him out a lot. And it's like that's the thing. And that's what I like about this Dolphins front office because they're surrounding Tua with these right weapons. Because what Tua does best is hitting receivers in stride, and that's something that Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill can do. When it comes to the deep ball, yeah, maybe he's not the best at it. That's why he's not in the top 10. I don't think he has a conversation to be. I think when Tua is, when Tyreek Hill runs a slant, when Jalen Waddle runs a slant, when Trent Sherfield and Cedric Wilson run slants, I think that's his best attributes.
Let me look at Tua's numbers. Mike White better. 3.5K yards, 25 to 8 TDs, third in QBR. Hey, he's still an accurate quarterback, though. I do believe he's pretty accurate. He was accurate without the Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle type guys.
Yeah.
I'm not really that high in him, though. Let's see how the rest of this list turns out. Who's 11?
11, I have the man who never wrote back, Geno Smith.
Ooh, Geno Smith getting 11. Okay.
Yeah. I'm high on Geno Smith, and I
saw some
think
good
he
stuff last year. It surprised
me.
I
saw some great stuff from Geno last year, and I think he has an argument to be top 10. I just need to see another year out of him. To be honest, I think if you're doing strictly based off of last season, he's got to be top 10. It's just simply because the quarterback play last year was not very consistent from almost anybody, except for a handful of guys. I think Geno Smith last year was one of the most consistent quarterbacks in the league.
Very.
I mean, when you look at the most consistent last year, it was kind of Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Hurts, and Geno.
You knew what you were going to get from Geno every game, and he gave it to you. Pause.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? You got it.
Yeah.
If you had him on your fantasy team, he was really good. Like, Geno Smith was consistently putting up about like 200 to 300 yards a game, giving you a couple touchdowns.
Yeah.
Keeping the ball. He didn't turn the ball over crazy. I mean, he had 11 turnovers, but it wasn't like the craziest thing in the world that we thought Geno Smith was going to do. He was pretty solid.
Yeah. 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 He was good. He was good last year. Yeah.
I like the Geno love. Okay.
Yeah, I want to see if we can replicate it though in another season with the new weapons in Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yes, I thought that was one of the best draft steals ever.
Yeah, and then
in the draft. Why did I say ever? In that draft.
Yeah.
Because I thought Jackson Smith and Jigba was the guy who can go like 10, 11, 12. I thought Houston should have picked him up and thrown him with CJ Stroud. But I think they went with it. They traded that pick. I think they went.
They traded that pick so they could get Will Anderson.
Yeah, they traded it up. That's what I thought they were going to do. But then they did all those huge draft moves to get D'Amico Ryans a defensive guy, and they went all the way up to 4, take Arizona's pick. Or no, it's 3. But the fact that they have that big 3 receiving core, Geno Smith is going to look really good, and I think he's going to be my quarterback pick for fantasy football.
Yeah. So we're going to move on to the top 10 now?
Yes. The top 10.
Top 10, I think Dak Prescott is the 10th best quarterback in the NFL. There we go.
What year are we in with Dak? What is this, like year 7, 8 now? Like, it's man,
that's insane.
He was drafted in 16, I believe. Yeah, I think it was 16. 2020. This is the 2023 to 2024 season coming up. So Dak would be in year 8 this year. Wow, time is going by really fast.
Yeah, it's like Baker Mayfield is already in like year what? He's gonna enter year 6, I believe.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, like, COVID has thrown off like the times because I felt like 2 years ago everyone in the NBA was in like year 3, and now they're in year like 7. Like Jaylen Brown and Tatum being like in year 7, it's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't feel like that at all. Kyrie's in year like 11 now, when I feel like Kyrie was like in year 6 the other day. Steph being 35 when I felt like Steph was just 27 winning MVPs yesterday. It's crazy how time's going by. But Dak's at 10. He's still
Dak's
a
at 10.
Cowboy.
Yep.
Um,
Uh,
Still can't
yep.
get to a conference title game.
He will
But
after this year.
so that's your prediction.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
think
I
they're
do.
good enough to go to a conference title game?
I do.
What improvements are they going to make from last year to this year to be a conference title team?
The fact that they have, they just have I think they arguably have the best roster in their division. I mean, it's either them or Philly.
I think
They
I take Philly's roster. I take Philly's roster. I think
I
Philly's
mean, yeah, that's fine because like Philly proved it last year, but it's like look at Dallas adding Stephon Gilmore to that secondary. I think that's going to be great with him next to Trayvon Diggs.
Mm-hmm. That's
The
one of the best
defense
corner duos in football, for
they're
sure.
arguably the best. And then like obviously they have Micah Parsons, who's a top 3 pass rusher in football. Dak Prescott, top 10 quarterback. Tony Pollard, who's a top 10 back. Zach Martin, who's like one of the best offensive linemen that I've ever seen. And then you have CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup. Like,
No, they're a good team. They're a good team. I just don't know if they're better than Philly. How much better are they from Philly? Now Philly's a Super Bowl under the belt. You know that?
I think Philly is the better team, but I think Dallas is going to uh, finish with a slightly better record
Okay,
and win the
that
division
happens.
just because Philly their schedule's tougher. It's good. Like they have a very like I'm pretty sure they have a 6-game stretch from maybe like week 5 to week 11 where it's like very much losable games.
Philly goes, they play Dallas, Kansas City, Buffalo, 49ers, Dallas again, Seattle, and Giants. That's like a 6-game stretch to end the season.
Yeah.
That's Philly.
Yeah.
That division is tough. I think Dallas is
Yeah,
like
it
the
is.
third or fourth best team in the whole conference. I think so. The
I
NFC
think that
third or fourth best team. I'd put San Francisco and Philly above them, but other than that,
I mean yeah, I would say as a team, yeah, but I think the Cowboys would finish number 1 in that division, number 2 in the NFC.
so we got Dak Prescott at 10. That's an appropriate placement. Who is number 9? Who goes above Dak Prescott? Kyler Murray is still on the board. People are really low on Kyler Murray these
People are
days.
very low on Kyler Murray, and that's where I have him, number 9.
Kyler Murray dealt with injuries, dealt with a terrible Cardinals team. I've seen lists where Kyler Murray's like 15, 16. That horrible CBS graphic that was trending where Kyler Murray was like tier 6 or whatever he
Oh
was.
my
Like,
god,
I
yeah,
don't know if you've
dude,
seen that graphic.
I have.
Yeah, that's the conversations Kyler Murray is in now. Colt McCoy clears, I guess.
Yeah, I
Kyler
don't know.
Murray, it wasn't
I
really
don't
that great of a
understand it.
year for him across the board. Only played in 11 games. It just was not a great year for the Cardinals. It just wasn't. And fantasy owners of Kyler Murray were a little disappointed.
Yeah,
But why are you so high on Kyler Murray when other
it's
people are?
it's because I mean he's a top like 3 improviser in the entire NFL. His mobility is top 5. He has one of the best not one of the best, one of the better arms in the league. His accuracy is great. His pocket presence is like top 3 or 4. And then it's like what more do you really need from the guy? It's like I get it. He played bad last year. Like he suspended DeAndre Hopkins, injured Hollywood
That hurt
Brown,
for real. That
and an
hurt
injured
my heart.
Hollywood Brown, and then you're left with what? Rondale Moore, an old Zach Ertz, a bad offensive line, and Cliff freaking Kingsbury, who couldn't even win 5 college football games with Patrick Mahomes.
You saying perfectly. Kyler Murray, Hollywood Brown was hurt during the stretch. DeAndre Hopkins at the same time was suspended. Cliff Kingsbury fired now. Kyler Murray, a couple seasons ago, literally last year, but started his career for the first couple seasons. The man was an easy 3+ downs and yards, like 500 on the ground, a couple touchdowns on the ground, a lot of touchdowns on the ground in 2020, and double the passing touchdowns and INTs. He was top 10 quarterback. But had
Easily.
a rough year. People were kind of low on him. Kyler Murray's still top 10 quarterback. Good Kyler placement. Who's at 8?
At 8, I have Trevor Lawrence, who I think is going to lead.
Yes. I love me some Trevor Lawrence. Now to see where the rest of this list shapes out, I might be pushing for Trevor Lawrence at 7, 8.
Mm.
Aaron Rodgers is still on the board though, but I really like Trevor Lawrence. I was really impressed with what I saw from last season, the game against Dallas. I like Trevor Lawrence's resiliency. I like it. I like how he stands in the pocket. I like his arm. Now there's still some stuff I want to see from him next season, but that year
I need to see him
the
better
Eagles
under
head
pressure,
coach.
and that's it.
What?
I just need to see Lawrence better under pressure last year, and that's going to be the big thing that I think could ultimately lead to Trevor Lawrence's possible decline or rise next year. Because they lost what's his face, Jawan Taylor, to Kansas City, and they bring in Anton Harrison, and I love Anton Harrison. I think he's going to be great. But if they didn't land a slam dunk on that draft pick, I think Trevor Lawrence might
The jump he
decline.
made was pretty. That was a really good jump.
It was a great jump
from his rookie season to his sophomore year. Urban Meyer gone. In comes the guy from Philly. I forgot his name. Super Bowl champ.
Peterson.
Yeah, Doug Peterson. Yes. Attempts went slightly down, but the completion percentage went up by about 7 points. Yards went up in TDs. His average per play went up. Touchdowns doubled. Interceptions divided by 2. Sacks went a couple down. Offensive line got better. QB rating skyrocketed. QBR skyrocketed. I like this Trevor Lawrence replacement. I thought he had a really good season. And that comeback, obviously, against the Chargers. He has a playoff win already.
He does.
Okay, 7.
7 is going to come to a lot of surprise to people. So I'm a big guy of looking at the system and seeing how the system can possibly benefit other players to make them possibly perform better statistically than they really do. This is where I have Jalen Hurts. I think he's a great quarterback. I projected him to be I actually projected him to win the MVP after last year. Last year, that was my MVP pick, and he almost lived up to that expectations. But
mine's been Josh Allen for the last 3 to 4 years.
I've given up on anything Bills related.
I've been picking the Bills out of the AFC for the last 2 years, and I've been picking Josh Allen to be Super Bowl.
I did too, but I'm finally out on that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Jalen Hurts was your MVP pick last year, and he's at 7. Jalen Hurts had a great year, but you said something about the system. What does the system do for Jalen Hurts?
The system for Jalen Hurts kind of hides his ability or his inability to throw across the middle. I feel like he's better outside the numbers, obviously rushing. And I mean, let's be honest. How many quarterbacks are thriving in Jalen Hurts' system if you were to replace him? Now, I don't like using that as an argument. I don't feel like it really holds any
portability. Hey, port.
But you could say that, but that's the thing. It's like when you're looking at Hurts, who is a very talented quarterback, but also producing in one of the best offenses, where you could kind of tell that they are hiding one of his weaknesses. I feel like you do need to kind of tax him for that and then drop him down a spot or two. Though I do think he has an argument with number 6, Lamar Jackson.
So you still think Aaron Rodgers is top 5?
I do.
Okay, so Jalen Hurts now lost the offensive coordinator. Who do they replace him with, by the way?
I don't know, but I know that Matt Patricia's on that staff now, and I don't like that.
They lost the offensive coordinator's key to his development. I think they lost the defensive coordinator, too. I think he's the Arizona Cardinals head coach now.
He is. Yep, Gannon.
But he's coming off a Super Bowl. I think he might be hungry for a Super Bowl. Let's see where Jalen Hurts leaps now, because he already took that huge leap. Let's see how big this leap is.
Their new OC is Brian Johnson.
Where did he come from?
He's been with Philly the past few years.
Oh, okay. So
he's just been climbing in their coaching tree.
Okay. Could be seeing an MVP season out of Jalen Hurts. Now, I might be one of those people who swings Jalen Hurts and Lamar over Aaron Rodgers, but I might not be. I still see a lot of people are high on Aaron Rodgers. I'm not as high on Aaron Rodgers as other people. But Lamar Jackson, you kind of already alluded to, is your 6th guy. Why Aaron Rodgers above Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts?
Because, all right, here's the thing I think we need to understand about Lamar Jackson. He was injured for the majority of last season, and that does hurt. And that does hurt him the same way that it hurts a guy like Kyler Murray. The problem is that Rodgers, while he was still It's like people say that Rodgers was bad last year. He was not bad. He was a
He
good
couldn't beat
quarterback.
Detroit at home, which kind of hurts.
It's not a quarterback stat, buddy. It's not a
Yeah,
quarterback
but
stat.
some of those throws he were making was not good. I've seen the tape. That was a poor performance from Aaron Rodgers. There's some
Yeah,
comeback
I
routes he
know.
didn't hit. There were some throws that I don't think Aaron Rodgers was able to make in that
Yep.
game. Why did they cook the Packers like he's still on that team? He's a Jet now.
But yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers is still a top 5 quarterback, not solely based off of last season. That's the thing I need to understand. My rankings are not solely based off of one season and one season alone.
they're
I think
power.
Rodgers, yeah, I think Rodgers, he's the most talented quarterback that I've ever seen in my life, and that's the thing. I'm not going to just put him outside of the top 5 off of one bad season where his best receiver was between Allen Lazard and Christian Watson. I'm
But
not
are
going to.
you? But I'm sorry for cutting you off. Are you
It's fine.
a little? Is it a red flag that the turnovers have gone up? This used to be a guy who never threw interceptions. The turnovers have gone up. The QBR has gone down. The rating's gone down. Stats have gone down. But you still put him top 5.
Yes.
Was he the MVP in 2021?
He was literally the MVP the season before this year.
Aaron Rodgers at 5 is not a bad placement. Based on your criteria, this is a power ranking. Takes in a little bit what you were doing the year before. Not a whole lot, but takes in a little bit. Aaron Rodgers at 5. Now, if he stinks it up in New York, the New York media is going to be coming after him, and Aaron Rodgers' wash is going to be the front headline of the New York Post. So,
actually, wait a minute. I don't even think that's going to happen. I think the New York. No, never mind. Wasn't. I saw something like the New York Times or New York Post, something like that, was like disbanding their like sports department or whatever.
Okay. I never seen that before, but
yeah, it's whatever.
So the top 4. This is the consensus top 4 on everyone's list. The 4 best quarterbacks on literally everyone's list: Herbert, Burrow, Allen, and Mahomes. We're an hour and 21 in. Let's get through this. How are you ranking these 4?
4 Herbert, 3 Burrow, 2 Allen, 1 Mahomes.
Now, a lot of people
put Burrow over Allen.
Put Burrow over Allen. What do you say to those people?
I say to those
I'm
people,
from Ohio. I got a lot of Bengals fans watching.
I'm an LSU
Speaking
fan.
of Bengals fans, by the way.
All right, I know. All right, if I'm speaking to Bengals fans, I'm letting you know Joe Burrow is my favorite quarterback currently in the NFL. I'm an LSU fan. I got nothing against Joe Burrow whatsoever. The thing about Burrow is that throughout the entire regular season, everybody was saying Josh Allen was better. Everybody was saying Josh Allen was better. Nobody was saying Burrow was better. And it's not just that, it's the fact that Allen, obviously, he's got the better arm. He's got the mobility. He's more accurate inside, outside the numbers. You could try to use the base stats. That still goes to Allen. You could try to use the advanced stats. Some of them will go to Burrow. A lot of them will go to Allen. At the end of the day, when you're watching the two play, Allen is the better quarterback in not every category. It's 100% close, but he is better in more categories than Joe Burrow.
I will say they did play head-to-head in Buffalo, and it went to Joe Burrow's favor.
Yes, but this is not.
People will use that against him.
Yep, this is not the 50s though, where the quarterback also plays linebacker. So.
Yeah, but Joe Burrow was better.
He was better in the game, but quarterbacks don't play each other on defense.
True. I will say, though, defensively, no Von Miller. That Bengals playoff defensive rise is real. They just seem like they're always better in the postseason. His weapons, Joe Burrow does have the better weapons. We have to take that into account. Boyd and Higgins, his second and third strings are better than the second string. They're better than Gabe Davis. Like, they wash
much better.
Higgins washes Gabe Davis. Stephon Diggs, that's a great receiver, top 10 receiver. I make the argument that Jamar Chase is better. So your number ones are better. Now, it's not a huge gap, but the number 2 is a huge gap. Dawson Knox and, well, it's no longer who's their tight end now? Hayden Hurst is gone.
They never had Hayden Hurst.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't. Hayden Hurst was on the Bengals last year.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, I thought you meant like Hayden Hurst was on the Bills. They're tight end now. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up who their tight end is.
Yeah,
Tight
Hayden Hurst
end.
is on like the Panthers now.
He's on the Panthers now. Oh, it's Drew Sample
Oh,
and Irv
yeah.
Smith Jr.
Irv Smith Jr. should be the starter there.
Yeah, but I think it's close though. But when I look at Burrow's playoff numbers outside that game in Buffalo, they're not crazy playoff numbers. And I think Josh Allen's he's easily the more talented quarterback. Now, talent doesn't mean better, but he's the more talented quarterback. Let's look at his playoff stats. They're not that great. They're not that great.
He's still one of the better playoff performing quarterbacks. Like,
no, he still is, but that Super Bowl run statistically wasn't that great. If you look at it,
statistically, yeah, but the only game that I would really dud Burrow for in that Super Bowl run was the one against the Titans.
Yeah, that Titans game. I mean, the man's sitting at 24. I think 5 interceptions that game or something like that, and just
it wasn't 5, but he took like 8 sacks.
No, Ryan Tannehill.
Tannehill. Tannehill. I thought you said Burrow.
Burrow got sacked like 9 times, but his offensive line was pretty bad too. But some of it was
his offensive line was awful.
Too long. If you take Burrow over Allen, I can see why. It's kind of the equating the winning over production type thing. And you're not a guy who equates winning to quarterbacks.
Nope, I don't equate winning. I don't equate stats too much. I just watch the quarterbacks play.
Although quarterback has the largest impact on winning on teams, this isn't basketball. Basketball is a more individual sport where there's a lot more ISO, a lot more one-on-one. The quarterback still needs to put the ball for his receiver to catch. His receiver still needs to be able to run that route and get open. His running back's still going to have to be able to make plays and keep defenses honest. His offensive line has to hold that block for a second for him to be able to make that throw. His defense is going to have to make enough stops for him to be able to get the ball back on a reasonable scoreboard. So Allen over Burrow, yes. But the gap is close, though, I believe.
It's all right. Yeah, it's a close enough gap.
This is my last year for the Bills, though. But post Brian Daboll Bills, though, hasn't been particularly great for those offensive numbers because they have taken a dip.
Yeah.
But Mahomes is number one. We can all agree Mahomes is number one.
Yeah.
So I'm going to run down this order. Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Herbert, Rodgers, Lamar, Hurts. I'm expecting a Lamar bounce back. Year 6, Lamar is crazy. We're already in year 6.
Yeah.
Rodgers, okay. Lamar, Hurts, T-Law, Kyler, Dak, Geno, Tua, Watson, Kirk, Russ, Stafford, Carr. Dating times, Goff. I'm not going to. Okay. Fields, Purdy, Mac. This is a good list.
Yeah,
I'm looking with my small edits at the bottom. This is a good list. You want me to read it off to you?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Wait, let me make sure. Love how it's a good list. Okay. Here is our starting quarterback power rankings of the 2023-24 NFL season. That's a horrible intro. Let me restart that. Get some water in my system. I got to make sure I have a good intro for TikTok.
Yeah. I get it.
I have this catching TikTok. Here are our quarterback power rankings heading into the NFL season. We ranked every starter starting from 32 to number 1. 32, Anthony Richardson, C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Desmond Ridder, Sam Howell, Jordan Love, Baker, Pickett, Tannehill, Jimmy G, Mac, Jones, Purdy, Fields, Goff, Danny Dimes, Carr, Stafford, Russ, Kirk Cousins, Deshaun Watson, Tua, Geno, Dak, Kyler, T-Law, Hurts, Lamar, Rodgers, still top 5, Herbert, Burrow, Allen, in the number 1. Who would have thought? Patty Mahomes.
Him.
That's 32 ranked.
Yep.
In this show. We did it.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this list on a TikTok live, by the way. And if this list gets cooked, like I said about the last one, I saw him on a TikTok live.
Okay. All right. whenever I show my quarterback rankings on my lives, I always hear that Hurts is top 3. You're going to hear that a lot. You're going to hear Hurts top 3.
Why? Because he took a team to the Super Bowl?
Exactly.
Okay.
And you're going to hear Kyler isn't top 10. You're going to see a lot of people asking where the hell is Jared Goff. Those are the 2 names that you're going to hear the most. Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff.
Yeah. Carr over Goff though. Why Carr over Goff?
It's just because I feel like Carr is better with like nothing than compared to Goff. It's like we kind of saw that. Like Goff, like I've seen Goff.
You're thinking Jared Goff he's not a great floor raiser. He's one of those guys that
Yeah.
around him with talent, he's good. Saw with the Rams, but the first stint with the Lions, look how bad he was. Like,
yeah,
the first season with the Lions. Oh, so you think if you remove the weapons, if you really just look at the film and their tenures, you see Carr is better. Goff just has better weapons if you look at the base stats and all that.
I mean, it's not just the base stats. Like it's like with like bad offensive lines, like who does have the better pocket presence, who does have the better pocket awareness, stuff like that.
I think a lot of people are going to say Goff's top 15.
A lot of people are going to no. A lot of people say Goff is top 10 and should be over Dak and Kyler.
Why is Goff top 10?
I don't know.
I guess because of the base stats.
Yeah, it's because base stats and like people make graphics where they show Jared Goff like with his base stats against Josh Allen, and it's like, yeah, the base stats will tell you that they're close, but they're not close. That's the thing.
Oh, you know the graphics I hate where they put 2 quarterbacks like player A and B with the mystery silhouette next to each other and it's just straight base stats.
Yeah,
and it's like, well, see, look how close these guys are. Like, no, just base stats. Like, no.
Yeah, no.
But that's all I got for today's episode, Matt. I appreciate you for coming on, carrying this list. I'm finally in my football thinking head. A lot of the stuff that I added to this list, I was like thinking of as I was going because it's been so long since I've been in a football space. But I can't wait to talk football more. I'm going to start talking more on TikTok Live so I can get more on space. I've just been thinking basketball this entire time. But football is a month away, and we're going to bring more football to this pod for my football viewers. But thank you to everyone else who tuned in to the 49th episode of Some Casual Takes. I assume next episode, if I'm not busy, will be Friday at 12:30. But if it's not, check my TikTok for any emergency notifications. It is Some Casual Takes. But until Friday at 12:30, I'll see you then. Thank you, Matt, for coming on.
Yep, appreciate you.